Welcome, fans, to another off-season episode. This is your host, Little Ed. Cousin Ed's still out on paternal leave. I'm joined with Coach Ed, producer PJ, and our in-house fantasy hockey specialist, Mikey 150. What's up, boys?
What up?
How's it going?
How we doing?
Before we get into anything, this episode and all episodes are sponsored by Lucarelli Law. So if you're in Florida or in the Naples area, shout out to Dom Lucarelli, and he can definitely help you out with any troubles you have. So sorry to cut you guys off, but I forgot last episode, so I had to sneak that in there.
I noticed Cousin Ed never forgets.
There's one Martian jersey. What?
One at a time. Coach, go first.
There's one Martian jersey missing from back there, I see.
Which one? I wore it to hockey, and it's in my hockey bag. Got to make friends with the locals, you know?
I don't know if that's which one he's talking about, Mike.
That's not the one I'm talking about.
Oh, it's in the mail.
You got a Florida one?
Ordered.
Wow.
Good for you.
Got to do what you got to do.
I can't believe that, Mike. You're surprising me. I thought it was going to be a more heated discussion going on here.
Yeah.
No, me and the missus, we had a deal because she's a big Trent Frederick fan, as you guys know, and he went to Edmonton. So if Edmonton won, she got a Frederick Oilers jersey, and if Florida won, I got a Florida Marchand jersey.
Oh, what a good rooting interest!
Pretty solid.
I gotta say, I always knew he was a good player, the kind of player in the playoffs. You know, the whole cliche. But watching these playoffs, that guy's freaking amazing.
He's an animal.
It's freaking amazing.
He really is.
He literally took over the last two rounds.
Yep.
As a third liner on that team.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about him last year, so he had hip surgery going into the in the offseason, going into the regular season. And I can't remember, it was an interview he did or something I read, but apparently he didn't really get healthy till about halfway, 3/4 through the season, like recovering from that surgery because it finished up. He was still recovering basically when the season started. And so by the time the playoffs rolled around, he was just ready to go, fully healthy. And as you said, I mean, it showed. He took over.
For all you guys listening, on audio only, head on over to YouTube to check out Mikey 150's Marchand jersey collection behind him. Oh, he's got a Bergeron too. It's not all Marchand, but yeah. Definitely got to send you something to add to that backdrop for you.
My coasters, don't forget about those.
Well, I've definitely upped my game since then, Mikey. So
I know those are old.
I owe you something for your wedding for sure. So it's in the works.
Yeah.
PJ, what you been up to in the last week?
Me, not too much. I booked our train tickets and hotel for the opening night. So, it's getting real now. So I'm pumped, and we'll talk schedule. But
you bought tickets already?
Not yet.
Okay, don't buy tickets yet. Don't buy tickets yet. We have to discuss, but hopefully we'll have the second annual opening night suite this year for fans listening and want to get involved. Shoot me a message or shoot us a message on social media. Everyone's here for the free agency and what else are we covering tonight? Free agency, trade, signings, all that good stuff.
Schedule, and then we forgot to talk Dave Maloney at the end of that last episode. We were so busy, so we got to cover that.
Yeah, before we get around the league, we wanted to shout out Dave Maloney for officially getting the color commentary job for MSG Networks alongside Kenny Albert this year. So we are kind of replacing two legends with two more legends. So I feel like the Rangers, or us Ranger fans, are pretty used to a nice smooth transition. We ease from Lundqvist, or from Richter, I should say, kind of into Lundqvist, and now we got Lundqvist into Shesterkin. Sam and Joe, we're going to ease into Kenny Albert and Dave Maloney. So we can't complain there, I don't think. So congrats to Dave. He does a great job on the radio. The little that we listen to the radio nowadays, I guess. But whenever he does come on where I guess in between periods and stuff like that, he's always tells it like it is. So I look forward to, hopefully the Rangers don't have many bad games, but I look forward to an honest, filter free. I'm sure he won't be able to say some stuff, but he's known to not really have much of a filter. So
I'm curious to see how that goes if MSG puts the little chokehold on him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was he on?
Loose.
Sirius XM. They were talking to him a little bit, and he's like, "They're gonna have like the shock collar on me," because he like has no filter either. I mean, like it's a treat. I don't listen to the radio a lot because obviously I'm a sicko and I watch everything. But when hearing him on the radio, especially like I was listening on the way back from AC once at the last game of the season when it was done, and he was just letting them have it. It was cathartic to listen to. He's one of us, so I'm excited for him.
Yeah, even
it's
when
kind of like
God.
It's kind of like the shock collar that cousin Ed has on me.
I mean, even when the team's doing well, I feel like he still tells it like it is. If someone's just having a bad game or made a bad play, like he'll point it out and discuss why it was a bad play. You know, I feel like, I mean, Joe did a decent job with that too, but like Dave's going to take it to another level that I think we're going to really enjoy as fans.
1,000% agree. I'm excited. It's kind of funny that the first home opener they won't even get to call it because it'll be on ESPN.
Oh wow!
Yeah. This year it's on ESPN. Well, I'm sure they'll have a good opportunity, or MSG will do something special for the first official call. Before we move on, you guys have anything else?
No, I'm
looking forward to it.
Not on Dave. No.
All right, cool. So yeah, congrats to Dave. Looking forward to the season with him alongside Kenny Albert, and we'll have to create another deck for the Rangers Ed party game or whatever you want to call it. What do we call it? I forget. Broadcast banter. Duh. Rangers Ed broadcast banter card game. So we'll have to come up with some new stuff once we hear them announce some games, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, we were going to talk about some of the CBA stuff as well, but since Shrimp wasn't able to join us today, we are going to postpone that for when he is able to join us. Want to get a ex-NHL player's perspective on the way that the way that the league is going, or the direction that it's going, and what it used to be when he was in the league. I think Shrimpy was kind of like way ahead of his time in terms of like skill and that kind of like, lack of a better word, cockiness and flashiness and things of that nature. So I feel like he would have excelled a lot more in today's NHL than he did back then. So it'll be, and I think he knows that. He'll be first one to admit that. So it'll be interesting to hear what he has to say about that stuff. So yeah, other than that, you guys got anything to add on Shrimpy, or looking forward to next week, or hopefully next week? We'll see when he can come on.
Yeah, definitely curious to hear his thoughts on that.
Definitely.
Interesting new nuggets. I mean, starting at least it's not this season, it's next season when all that stuff is. So we got some time to kind of digest all those little changes.
Yeah, maybe he can even explain some of the stuff, escrow and things like that with contract talk from a player.
Yeah, I'd be curious to think from a player's perspective, because like reading through it, it didn't seem like the players got a lot of wins. It seemed like the league, it always happens with these, the league gets more of the wins in these, negotiations, I feel like, than the players do, but that's par for the course.
I feel like only in hockey though. I feel like only hockey the players kind of get screwed over, for lack of a better word. I mean, they do okay, but I feel like it's always an issue with hockey.
Well, the salary cap's going up, so that's helping the players tremendously where it counts. Yeah, there you go, Marky. Shout out to Mark Babich, one of our summer guests and one of our sponsors, Blue Line Blue Shirts, in the chat. So if anyone wants to chirp him for anything or go at him at all, now's your chance. Love you, Marky. All right, so Mikey, where should we start? Let's start.
I was going to say, do you want to talk schedule? Do we want to talk the Ranger schedule first? League stuff?
Yeah, might as well. Well, why don't we break it down this way? Why don't we look at like the Rangers early on in the season in terms of the schedule, and then we'll see what Mikey thinks in terms of the competition and what we should be looking out for, say, like the first half of the season.
Sounds good.
All right. Thought of that right on my own on the spot. See that? So, Peach, why don't we we already mentioned they're opening the night off. Actually, this is a good question for Coach. They're opening the night off against the Penguins with Sullivan coaching against his old team. I mean, he hasn't coached another team other than the Penguins in 20 years or something like that. No, probably not that
Is it?
long, right? How
I don't
long?
think it's that long.
No, not nearly that long. I'm just thinking how long Crosby's been in the league, but it's not as long as Crosby's been in the league. So
Yeah, it was 2015, 16, I think.
whatever. So 10 years, that's a pretty long time. Coach, I mean, how would you feel, or how do you feel coaching against some of your ex-players like nowadays?
Well, I'm
Obviously
sure
not
there's
at the
going to
same
be.
level.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of emotions flying because I'm sure he had a close bond with Crosby, Malkin, Letang, the core group over there, and it's pretty good that they understand it's a business also. When he had to, part ways, it was obviously time for a change in Pittsburgh with this, kind of on. I don't know if they're considering it a mini rebuild or whatever. Mike, are they considering it a rebuild over there yet?
I don't know at this point. They didn't do much of anything in the offseason, so I'd hesitate to say they're doing anything, rebuilding or otherwise.
So they're pretty much stagnant with what they had last year. So I don't know. It's going to be, I'm sure, emotional. I'm sure the Rangers will play a nice video on the board of his career over there over the years, and it should be exciting. He seems like a genuine guy, didn't part ways bitter or anything. So it's a tough thing because when you see, I never really had a coach against players that I coached and then they played in another level, another team. So it's hard to explain. But when you coach guys that long and you see them after the fact, it definitely gets a good feeling, that you were part of their life for that long. So it's a nice situation. I'm sure he seems to be that kind of guy. I think it'll be a tough night for him in the start, but he'll get down to business, I'm sure.
I was going to say it's interesting. The other side of it is Dan Muse. Remember, the Rangers assistant is the Pittsburgh coach, so he's coming to MSG his first game. So that's interesting. And then game 3 of the season, the Rangers are going to Pittsburgh. So not only does Sullivan start facing his old team, now he goes to Pittsburgh, gets it right out of the way. And I'm sure you're right, Coach. They're definitely going to do Pittsburgh. I'm sure is going to honor him big time. So that's definitely going to be emotional.
Well,
for him.
let's just get this out of the way right now, because when Pittsburgh beats the Rangers and Dan Muse is the head coach, Cousin Ed's going to go, just like Chuck Knobloch, we let him go, and Mike Sullivan when we let him go, and the whole thing. So I'm making that prediction right now. So
you do sound just like him. That's for sure.
I'm not saying it. He's going to be saying.
I know. I have no doubt about it.
Yeah, without a doubt. What was I going to say? I forget. Oh, I think he'll get the tribute video probably in Pittsburgh then. I don't know if the Rangers are going to do it. I'm sure they'll.
No, he'll definitely get it.
He'll do the announcement, when they announce the whole team. I'm sure
the Garden always does something. It's a spectacle. Yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting for sure. But it's all business, right? I mean, he's just as competitive as Crosby is. They're both going to come out, and I saw Mark in the chat said retool is the new term. I agree. Especially with Sidney Crosby on your team. Like, what are you going to do? Like, you're not going to try to win with him, or the team's not going to try to win with him as the leader, like you could stack it with a bunch of young guys. I feel like that guy can lead anyone to victory. So it's tough to completely rebuild when you have him at the top, in my opinion. And Malkin's is still there too. So like Coach Ed said, the Rangers can easily come out opening night and lose to the Penguins. So we'll see how that goes.
It's nice for the Penguins, or excuse me, the Rangers players, though, because it's almost like Sullivan takes a bunch of the opening night eyes off of them. Like the story is Sullivan and the Penguins, So, I mean, it almost takes a little bit of the pressure off the players, especially, after our last season ended. It's going to be a lot of hungry Rangers fans that want to see team put up numbers right out of the gate,
Tell me about it.
It's going to be an interesting opening night for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other interesting thing I noticed about the schedule early on is like 7 out of the first 12 games are on the road, including like a 4-game Western Canada Seattle trip. Kind of reminds me of 2 seasons ago when Laviolette was first time as coach. And I feel like that, remember they went 5-0 on that trip, kind of springboarded them early. And especially with a new coach kind of going out on the road might be the best thing early for this team to kind of rebond and hopefully start on the right foot.
That's what I was going to say is they need that camaraderie right off the bat. We've been talking about it all summer, all last season. I always not joke around about it. I'm pretty serious. Is like they need to have more of that team bonding stuff, and you hear it around the league. And all I see or all I hear about is like the Ranger players just going straight home, or they're all leaving by themselves from the Garden and stuff. So I I don't really see, like, when you hear about teams going out, like, I don't really see it with this group of guys. So I hope that turns around. It was nice to see a lot of them posting pictures at Schneider's wedding together. So I'm sure they had a blast there. At least the guys that are still on the team. I saw Lindgren was there. Keandre was there. There's a few guys that aren't on the team anymore that were there, but hopefully they had a good time. And like I said, that camaraderie being on the road, hopefully will be good for them. Like you said, to get it out of the way and do rookie dinner on the road and things like that. I'm sure it will be a great time. I mean, I hate to say it, but
it's
when your family's not around, like you're gonna let loose a little bit more and just want to be around the boys.
Yeah, definitely. It's like it's a road trip. There's a lot to be said about that. I remember in the late 70s when they had Duguay and Don Murdoch and Espo was there as the elder guy. They were all hanging out. That's all that was in the newspaper. Studio 54. They were all, and they made it to the finals that year. Unfortunately, they took it the partying level too much in the finals, and that's when Montreal just swept them when they got cocky. But that's still, you look at what Florida did. I mean, I'm watching those videos after they won. Those guys were having a blast like they were in high school. They were going to these bars and with the fans. I mean, I don't see that happening in many places.
I was thinking that today too.
Florida's a unique kind of place for them to do that because, first of all, hockey's popular now, but it's not like if it was in New York City, with 50 bars around the Garden going crazy, or Boston or Toronto. So Florida, they're just like hanging out on these bars on the beach with the Stanley Cup and people are shaking their. It's not that big of a, a lot of people probably don't even realize in Miami what even happened, with people going about their business. It's a different atmosphere. But I just love the fact that they were whooping it up with the fans. Even in Tampa, it looked like when they won those couple of years, it seems like they were so involved with the community when they won, which is nice. I can't see that happening here. You'd have to get a ticket to go see the Stanley Cup. You wouldn't be able to get in the place where it is, So I think that's pretty cool. It's a unique situation. They have that camaraderie, and Marchand just went right into it, served his role, did what he had to do. The whole group it's going to be tough. They're definitely the team to beat, but we need to get that kind of an atmosphere on the Rangers for sure.
The camaraderie in part comes from being a place that players want to play. Like,
yeah,
when the
sure.
Bruins, didn't offer Marchand what he wanted, Sweeney said, "Where do you want to go?" He said, "Florida," like right away. I mean, I'm sure some of that has to do with the tax laws, but ultimately it's a place that players want to play and they're excited to go there. And I can't say the same about, the Rangers or even the Bruins for that matter. Like
well, look at it like this. I mean, I'm not a big South Florida guy. To me, it's too hot. But if you're going to play hockey with their practice facility, they keep showing off.
They drive their golf carts to practice.
Yeah, their whole culture. You could golf 11 and a half months out of the year. The beach. I mean, come on. How bad of a place to live is that, and be a hockey player? And the thing that they succeed at is when it's time to go to work, they go to work, which is the difference where they're able to separate that.
Right.
Yeah, I want to say, I think that what stinks a little bit with how the Rangers are set up, there's a lot of half the guys probably live in, Connecticut or uptown New York or upstate New York, and other guys live in the city. So not everyone is surrounded, together at all times. Like the younger guys are probably in the city and the older guys are, near the practice facility. So that definitely doesn't lead to team bonding when they're at home. But so, like you said, the road is so crucial for everyone to hang out.
Yeah, so hopefully Sullivan can bring that culture in and get these things going as far as the players coming together and creating that culture. So
it's imperative.
We'll see what happens.
But I was going to say the other part of the schedule, Zen Vitale brought up in the chat already, they don't play the Devils till after the trade deadline in March, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. I don't understand.
That's crazy. That happened with the Islanders one year, though, didn't it?
Yeah, Chris is playing up. When they played the first game was in that outdoor game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense, but I don't know. That'd be hard to do the schedule for everybody. So
Well, so
Who I want
back to the format that I suggested. I mean, who you said they play the first 7 out of 10 games on the road?
7 out of 12. Yeah.
7 out of 12. Who we looking at? Like, is that like the California road trip, or is that like a Canada?
Western Canada. So they play at
All right,
they
get that
home
out of the
against.
way early. I love that.
Yep. And then the California trip is in January. So by
That's halfway through the season. Perfect when they come back from
by the end
Christmas
of
break.
January, there's no more late games, which is nice. February, if we don't remember, is the Olympics. So there's only 3 games in February.
Yeah.
And then the end of the season is pretty crazy because it looks like they play so many road games early, like 17 of their final 26 are at home. So they better have a good home record because that could end up well. Because they basically better be in the playoffs by the last 3 games because they're playing at Dallas, at Florida, at Tampa to finish it. But you also have to figure those teams that they're solidified aren't going to be playing all their guys anyway.
Gotcha. All right. So what are we looking at the first half at the what did we say, the Western Canada trip, Mikey? I guess Vancouver is trying to do like a little bit of a retool and stuff. Is there anyone on Vancouver?
They're just never going to win, man. Vancouver's never going to win. Their management is so bad. Just looking at the first month of the Rangers schedule here, those first 3 games, the 2 against Pittsburgh and the 1 against Buffalo, they really got to win all 3 of those because they have a pretty tough stretch coming up with, Washington, Edmonton, Toronto, Montreal, and Minnesota. Like, that's 5 really tough games. And when you got guys that thrive on momentum, like, my arch nemesis Mika Zibanejad, like, it's pretty important for them to get off on the right foot and win some of those games. And then with that road trip coming up, Sharks, Flames, Canucks, and Oilers, they really got to put some wins up on the board early on, or they could fall behind. Like, there's a lot of good teams in the Metro, and it's just not a place that you can afford to be the Edmonton Oilers and, be 14 games below 500 by November and then go to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I agree.
They don't have that firepower.
No.
Although that road trip may be good for that team bonding. So
no, absolutely. They need something to galvanize them. Like, it was strange looking at the Rangers in the offseason because after last season, like, seeing them not really do much, it was pretty confusing. Obviously, the coaching changed, but I don't know. I mean, the Rangers are a huge question mark in my book right now. Just a giant question mark.
So is it?
I don't know. I think a couple of those deals. I think that defenseman deal's key.
Gavrikov, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'd like to hear
about. What do you think about the Keandre? Let's hear your take on that as an outsider.
Well, I think it's a great move for them. Like, Keandre he's a great player, but he's not what the Rangers need when you have an Adam Fox. Like, you need grit on their back line. And that's why teams like Edmonton, even Edmonton, like with Ekholm, like, they struggle because they didn't have grit on their back line. Like, teams like Carolina, that's why they don't win, because they don't have grit in their back end. And I think Gavrikov he has more physical upside, significantly more than Miller, with similar offensive upside. I think it was a great move for them.
This road trip doesn't even make sense either. Sorry, now I'm looking at the schedule, but yeah, we might as well getting away from the format again. But whatever, let's just scrap the format. Let's get your thoughts on the Rangers free agency signings quick and moves. So you already touched on that one. What do you got? What was the other one?
Hold on. I was talking. I went through a bunch. Let's see. What are we talking about? Yeah, Gavrikov. See, like, they didn't really do anything. Oh, Taylor Radish. Actually, he's a good forward. He's got a lot of offensive upside. But again, he's not a proven commodity in the NHL. So I mean, it's a decent move, but they didn't really do much. And I would have looked for the Rangers to make a significant change. I kind of equate their situation with Mika Zibanejad to what the Leafs went through with Mitch Marner.
You don't think you have a very talented, a significant change?
Well, yeah, it is.
Keandre?
Well, Keandre I just went through. Like, it is a change for sure, and I think they came out on top with respect to Gavrikov's defensive capacity and his physical play, but I don't think it's a significant change for them. Kreider, you lose a good player, but I don't know, man. I think they just need to do something significant. But then again, the coaching change could be just that. All last season, I was screaming for a coaching change, and it never happened. And I mean, look at like what Jim Montgomery did with St. Louis last year. They went from zero to hero real quick, and now they're one of the best looking teams heading into this next season. So, and Mike Sullivan, as you alluded to earlier, he is a proven commodity. He was a fantastic coach with Pittsburgh. And I mean, not leaving there amicably with that, to me, says you sort of have the blessing of guys like Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. And so that is something that could change the Rangers, fortunes, I suppose, heading into next season. But just from a purely player perspective, I don't really think they did much of anything and notable.
One of the key things I know I mentioned it at least once last week. I don't know about the week before. It just gets me that Sullivan actually flew to Sweden to speak with Zibanejad right away. I think that was a key message to send to the team, to send and talk to him and straighten things out before training camp, before anything. I thought that was a very unnoticed or untold story that could be a big part of the season. We'll see what happens.
That to me, that says he definitely knows that Mika Zibanejad is, depending on whether your glass is half full or empty, he's the problem or he's the linchpin to the Rangers.
Right. If he gets his 35 goals and he gets 80, 90 points, that's a big difference from last year. And that was their difference last year, pretty obviously. So he knows that he's going to be a key part to get him going. And I just thought it was pretty. And don't forget you said they didn't make any changes, but they did make the JT Miller deal. That was kind of a change. I know it was an off season, but now he's going to come in new into this season. You know what I'm saying? So that's a part of something special.
I was going to say
that Mike Sullivan, that just showed me right off the bat. Immediately he got into it. It wasn't probably 3 weeks after he was hired, and got on. I mean, I'm sure they had a nice vacation with it too, but
they were all together at Four Nations too. Yeah, JT Miller was on Team USA with Sullivan, so
yeah. I did forget about Miller. He is a good emotional leader, which is something, the Rangers need some passion in their lineup, and he's definitely a guy that can bring that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Throughout the year, that was significant change was throughout the year too. They cleaned out a lot. And Miller, I think he could use this long summer after everything he emotionally dealt with in Vancouver. Yeah. So he's still, despite all that, had over a point a game. So I'm excited to see him coming in fresh under Sullivan. I think he'll be reinvigorated more.
But I think with him and Trocheck being buddies, they'll bring the team closer together also in a positive way. I think that'll be part of it. So it's going to be an interesting, like Mike said, it could go either way. And it's going to definitely ride on how Mika plays. I'm not saying he's that Connor McDavid, but for the Rangers, it's going to rely on how he comes out and plays.
Yeah, they definitely need bounce backs from all the big guys, and then growth from Lafreniere again and the kids to take a step. But I was with you, Mike. I mean, I would have liked another trade. But the issue with the Rangers is Mika's unmovable, Panarin's unmovable without their permission. So those are the guys that you would create that significant change with that cap, and it's just not there. So next season, if Panarin leaves, or there could be more changes from there. But you need the coach bump and. Gavrikov to solidify, and I'm hoping Morrow kid could be a nice, sneaky factor on the D if he makes the team. So I'm excited for him.
I mean, to touch on what Mikey was saying before is like no one kind of looking for like a bigger move with Radish and like certain guys. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. I mean, a lot of our fans are clamoring for like a better third line center and like another like. I guess like lack of a better word, like marquee name. And I don't think that's really necessary because you're looking for guys like Laffy and Cooley, and even like a guy like Parsnips can not easily, but like he could step up and put up some points. Like I was saying on previous episode, like what the Rangers need right now, other than obviously Gavrikov and the things they already did, what the Rangers need right now is their current players to really step up and take the next level, take the next step. And not only the young guys, Zibanejad's. The Trocheck needs to have a bounce back season, a healthy bounce back season. Obviously Laffy, the young, he's a young kid, but like these other players, these other guys in the team, Panarin needs to come out flying again. We need Ball Panarin back. I don't know. He's got to come back. He's got to come into training camp with his head shaved, ready to go to work. That I would love to see. But
Mika.
I shave Mika's head too. See, whatever. Let's see what happens. Let's do it up.
You could make a really cool T-shirt, like a riff on the CCCP. Do it the BBBP. Bring back Ball Panarin.
I like that
T-shirt idea.
I like that
There
shirt
it is.
idea.
Yeah.
All right. I might have to cook something up when I'm driving to my next client tomorrow.
Mikey, you got to see this in the chat. Hirsch brings this up. This is just for you. Worst GM, Drury or Sweeney? I'm not even close. Go ahead, Mikey.
It's not even close. It's Don Sweeney by a mile, 10 miles.
I see people like clown Drury, and we could talk about this as we maybe jump into LA first. But if Drury got fired, I'm speaking to you too, Cousin Ed, because I know he wanted him fired. You know who they would have hired? Ken Holland. Did you see what he did with LA this summer? That's what you guys wanted? He's
behind Corey Perry. LA's going to the Stanley Cup. He's a genius. You should have hired him.
Did you see? They had no plan B after they didn't re-sign Gavrikov. It was horrific what they were throwing out.
That's wild.
Well, you don't know what they have in their minor leagues. How do you know? They might have another guy coming up.
We're going in many different directions here. We're going Kings or we're going Bruins?
No, I was just
much to say about
Drury,
the
how
Bruins.
people say Drury's not good enough, but you don't think about the alternative. And it would have been Ken Holland, who's just an abomination of a GM.
Listen, I know I'm no capologist, or I'm not privy to all of the other prospects and stuff like that, but I have zero complaints about Chris Drury. Other than honestly, I can't really think of maybe it's recency bias, but what more do you expect from the guy? He's president and GM of Original Six organization. He does what he can. God knows what Dolan is telling him to do or holding him back from doing. There's a million different factors, and all he's trying to do is build a team, and it doesn't happen overnight.
And how about having to deal with those 2, 3, 4 guys that had no trade clauses and figure things out?
Look at these contracts. I mean, he was handed some of these contracts over. I know he might have signed some bad ones too, but like I said, if the player's asking for it, what are you going to say? No. And then they go somewhere else, and then we're pissed off as fans anyway. Oh, Drury didn't sign Mika. Why didn't he sign Mika? Well, because he didn't want the no move clause, and Drury didn't want to sign. There's a million different alternate universes that could happen.
And just to get back to Ken Holland, PJ, wasn't he the one who was part of the Detroit Red Wings dynasty?
Early on, he was good, but lately, in Edmonton, and then now in LA,
I don't know. Edmonton's doing pretty good the last few years. And
Rob
Blake just got fired. How long's Ken Holland been GM?
This off season, but I mean,
all right. So he inherited something.
Yeah, but he dropped the bag. He lost Gavrikov, and then he signed Cody Ceci, who's borderline not even an NHL player anymore, for over $4 million. Brian Dumoulin for over $4 million. I mean, their defenseman is just
abysmal,
so bad, and they didn't add anybody other than Perry, who he might have had a good thing in LA. Who's to know if he could keep it going? But they still have $6 million to cap. They also traded their young defenseman Jordan Spence, who wanted out of there, and they're objectively way worse.
There's a lot going on in LA this last 6 months, so I give him a lot of credit.
For what?
There's a lot going on out there.
All right, so I was going to play on the other side of it a little bit. It's kind of what I just said about Drury. What else could Chris Holland could have done to improve his team other than sign those few guys to maybe help out on the blue line the best he can? There was no one else available.
Well, you figure
Unless,
out, you try to
he
get creative.
tries to sign like Brent Burns or somebody like that.
It's just the creativity stuff. Like, you don't have to panic and sign CC and Dumoulin to those deals. That's the issue. Like, they could have figured out other guys or figured out other trades. I feel like they just panicked because they didn't sign Gavrikov.
Yeah, I mean,
I
definitely
get it.
possible.
You can't control. If Gavrikov wants to leave, he wants to leave. But ultimately, you got to have a good plan B.
Yeah. So are they part of that road trip? They're not, right?
No.
No, not till January.
I also found it odd that they're going to San Jose as part of that road trip to kick it off. Well, actually, Minnesota kicks it off. Then they're going to Vancouver. No, then they're going to Calgary, then back to Vancouver, then back to Edmonton, and then back over to
They
Seattle.
did that last year too.
So they're home
last year.
against
They had to
Minnesota
flip-flop
and San Jose.
Oh, my bad. I was reading that wrong.
Yeah, and then they go out west. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, duh. Yeah, so Calgary, which is like south of Edmonton, correct? Like almost directly south.
South.
Then they're going west to the coast to Vancouver. Then they're going back to Alberta to Edmonton, and then they're going back to the coast to Seattle.
And not even playing Winnipeg while they're out there?
No.
Yeah, usually they do. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's usually, I mean, that was on like one of my bucket list road trips is to do that Western Canada road trip. And they don't even do it in the right order anymore. What are you going to make me fly back and forth now? That's crazy.
Yeah,
No, you got to take a sled. You got to take a sled dog.
Well, that's what we were planning on driving or something from Calgary to Edmonton or vice versa.
Yeah,
now you can't do that anymore.
Actually, I think they play Winnipeg when they go to Minnesota because they're relatively close.
That's correct.
Well, okay.
But Vancouver and Seattle should be right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, back to, I guess, picking Mikey 150's brain here. I mean, that road trip, that Western road trip, I mean, Vancouver obviously doesn't scare us. Calgary doesn't scare me. I mean, they have a decent team, but, like, the Rangers should
Calgary, you should give Calgary a little bit more credit than that. I think they're going to be they're going to be kind of a Columbus Blue Jackets-esque team this season. They're not really on anybody's radar.
All right, so
but
let's
I think
start
they
there.
could do a lot more damage.
In terms of fantasy, in terms of whatever, what are we looking at with Calgary?
Hang
on, let me pull them up here. I didn't plan on going out west.
They sneakily had 95 points last year, right? They didn't really.
Yeah.
They weirdly didn't do anything this summer. It's very weird.
No. So that's kind of why I brought them up in the same breath as the Blue Jackets. There are certain teams, there are a couple, those two mainly, that did more by doing less, I think. They have great young players like, Connor Zary on Calgary, for example. That kid Martin Pospisil, I love him. He's one of my favorite bottom six players in the whole NHL to watch. That kid's just electric. They signed Morgan Frost from Philly, another bottom six center there that's got serious upside. They signed Farabee from Philly. They have that kid, that defenseman there, Rasmus Anderson. He's a stud, man. Is he ever? Like just guys like that. Mackenzie Weegar, he's their second line on their second defensive pair. They have a ton of talent in that lineup, and they're not really on anyone's radar. And they didn't really make a lot of moves in the offseason. They finished last season really strong. They were in a tough division, and they're just a team no one's really talking about. No one's really giving a look, and I think they're going to make an impression this season more so than most people think.
Yeah, they
Who's
got
that
a
goalie again?
Dustin Wolf.
Yeah,
he almost won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he's absolutely insane.
He doesn't.
They got a new arena being built. Obviously, I would assume that comes with a new practice facility, new locker rooms.
Yep.
I mean, it's going to be an attractive place to play. I mean, yeah.
Other than the fact that it's minus 12 degrees for 6 months out of the year.
Yeah, it gets so cold your tires freeze flat.
That's
Dustin Wolf is like, he's so small. Like, I watch him and I'm like, how is he so good? But he's so quick. He reminds me of Richter a lot, actually.
He's unbelievable, man.
Yeah. He's one of those good defensive defensemen. He's just not totally.
I'm sure when we see them play the Rangers, we'll see how good he is.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Weegar.
No,
Wolf.
Oh, I thought no, whatever.
There was a lot of smoke on Anderson, though. I thought he was going to get traded this summer. It felt like for a little bit.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like there were so many rumors, like even Kadri was gonna maybe get dealt at the deadline and stuff. But like you just said, and Mikey's like sometimes not making those moves is the right move. Like not being loud or not being noisy. Like kind of like what I said before. What are they gonna in Calgary? What are they gonna strip it down? Like Coach had just said, like they already have like some of these like free agents or guys you would want to trade for. Like you can't risk them like other free agents or other guys wanting to come to Calgary. You know what I'm trying to say? Like they already have some of these guys. Why trade them away?
I think Calgary is also a special case when it comes to trading talent away these days because of, trading away Sam Bennett and then trading away Matthew Tkachuk and then seeing what they went on to do pretty well immediately after leaving Calgary. Like that fan base was not thrilled with those moves, especially with the way Huberdeau performed coming back. They got some value in Uyghur for sure, but they got the short end of the stick in both of those deals by a long shot. And if you're the Flames management team, you got to be really careful about what you do because that fan base could turn on you at the drop of a hat if you trade away the wrong player again.
Huberdeau's coming around though, no?
He is. He had a great. The second half of last season, he was fantastic. He was great on the power play again. It was like he decided he wanted to play hockey again.
Listen, sports
we
therapy.
talk about leaving cities and joking around with the weather. That's a big difference going from Miami to there. To where you're almost like, where you're hibernating for the winter in Calgary.
Yep.
That's a big difference. Yep. That's a different kind of lifestyle for your family and everything.
Wasn't Brent Sutter the coach when Huberdeau came over there first? I feel like they didn't jive well.
Daryl Sutter?
Daryl Sutter. Yeah.
I think he might have been. Yeah. He was the first year, and then he left after that. Yeah.
That kind of coincides with him getting a little better.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think Sutter tolerates the way he plays.
No, definitely not.
Looking at the schedule, they play Edmonton twice. I guess moving away from Calgary, let's head up north to Edmonton. They play Edmonton twice, first at home October 14th, and then away October 30th. I don't really see Edmonton getting much better either. Mikey, what do you think about Edmonton?
Edmonton's never going to do anything until they get a decent goalie. Like Stuart Skinner is he's too hot and too cold, and the bottom six of the lineup.
Wait, never going to do anything as far as like you mean winning the cup because other than that,
with Skinner, with Skinner, yeah. Well, I mean, he's kind of let them down in their playoff runs. They're Edmonton, they succeed kind of in the same capacity that the Leafs do. That more so by outscoring their opponents than by limiting their opponents. You know what I mean? Like I think Edmonton knows that they're weaker on their back end, and at some point, like they just have to address that. They've been to the cup now 2 years in a row, and they've fallen short.
That's where I think they're similar. I mean, Skinner's not the best goalie in the league, but I look at Bouchard. I'm watching that finals, giving the puck away constantly. I mean, what do you expect a goalie to do? I mean, hopefully PJ likes me after this comment. What do you expect a goalie to do on a regular basis when the pressure's all over? He didn't lose game 6-0. It wasn't like he blew he had the one bad game. But I'm watching that game. Darnell Nurse, last year he had a decent play. He's horrible. I'm sorry. Him and Bouchard, for them to give Bouchard, what they give him, like $8 million or $11 million or something ridiculous this year? They just signed him, didn't they?
Yeah, I can't remember what the number is off the top of my head.
He's got like a great slap shot. I get it. He puts up offensive numbers, but that only goes so far, like Adam Fox in the playoffs. That only goes so far when all your guys are like that.
I think it's crazy.
They're not going to win against a team like Florida. And that's how Toronto's getting beat. The same thing.
It's wild.
They don't have it back there.
It's wild to me that like Edmonton played that series, especially a guy like Bouchard, and who else just signed? Didn't someone else just sign in Edmonton?
They got Mangiapane from.
All right, that's not what I was thinking of.
That's a good pick.
No, Bouchard was the big, and they re-signed Frederick too, 8-year deal.
Yeah.
I'm curious
Whatever.
your thoughts. And well,
It's
by
fine.
the way, Bouchard was
Bouchard goes
10.5
into that
million.
8.5. You said
10.5 for
10
4
and a
years.
half. That's insane. Eight and a
Yeah.
half.
And by
Eight and
time
a half would have been good.
Isaac
10
Howard, they got the young kid from Tampa. That's a good.
So he plays that. So he plays that series against Florida. Then watches these guys on Florida, a guy like Ekblad, sign a team-friendly deal. Then he still decides it's a good idea to sign that contract and thinks he's just going to run it back and they're going to win. That's just crazy. That's crazy. Like
That's been the bane of Edmonton's existence for over the last probably like 15 plus years since they drafted like Nugent Hopkins and Neil Oh my God, remember Neil Yakupov? Gross.
Great rookie year though. He had a great rookie
but
year and a big time.
They had all Taylor Hall, like they had all those first round picks, and they gave so much money to those players, just threw it at them. It's like, what are you doing? Like they're just paying forwards, and they didn't pay any defensemen and no goalies. Like they're just terrible.
See, so to me, that you talk about the GM or the organization, they lose to Florida last year. They see what they needed, and they didn't boost to their defense. I think Skinner played pretty much the same both years. I don't know. I don't think he was.
He did. I agree. But the thing
what I'm
about
saying,
that
he
coach
was
is
average. He didn't steal games. He was average.
But that's it. You just said it right there. A goalie has to steal a game in a series. Goalie's got to steal a game in a series. That's it. No, you keep going. I just wanted to get that across.
No, I agree with you. But when you have a better defense, you are able to steal that game also. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree.
To me, it all intermingles a little bit. I have a hard time pointing blame on goaltenders so much, even though I'll say to my goalies, like, you got to stop that puck in certain situations, but it's got to be a team game. There's no way. Look at Lundqvist. He was stealing games for years, and they didn't have the horses in front of him.
To be clear, I'm not blaming Skinner for it.
No, I know.
I don't think it's.
I get it.
I think he could be an upgrade. Is more what I'm getting at. Like,
100%.
I think he's an average goalie, and that's a position that they could upgrade.
They needed to upgrade their D more, just like Toronto.
Yeah.
Hopefully they let Marner go, and they're able to get another defenseman.
Well, not hopefully.
He's on Marner's on.
Well, whatever.
They keep making mistakes.
Well, the one thing Lundqvist always talks about on TNT about goalies is the difference in a one-game sample for a lot of goalies is not huge, but it's the consistency that differs the best in the league from the middle. So, like Skinner, we saw him in the playoffs. He had his shutouts here and there, but then he had the games where he looked like he couldn't stop a beach ball. The difference is that's consistency, knowing what you're going to get, and that's why Igor is so good in the playoffs. You know you have that. You don't have to worry about it.
PJ, I'm watching the finals. I watched the finals pretty intently. Florida had Edmonton dizzy in their zone. Skinner's going left, right. Puck's going wide. Florida's getting it cross-side. He didn't know where the heck he was going, who was covered. And if you're a good goalie and you're a goalie, Lundqvist is the first one to say, I know this guy's covered on the weak side. I could challenge. If you have no idea what's going on, you're not going to do it in 7 games. When Edmonton was lost, they didn't know what they were doing.
Their defensemen specifically were rough to watch.
Edmonton didn't win a single battle on the boards that whole series either. Like,
in their zone, it was brutal. Forget the offensive zone. In their zone, it was brutal. I mean, that's tribute to Florida, the way they were playing also. It's not an easy task, but when you get to the finals, it should be 2 of the best teams. It shouldn't be that noticeable that they couldn't even keep up with them. But
yeah,
testament of will by Florida.
They are, Edmonton they're pot committed to their big guys. I mean, and now McDavid resigns, which should be an interesting discussion. I don't know how they improve. I mean, they have minimal. They have 175,000 of cap space right now, and they already lost not like huge guys, but they lost depth forwards in Arvidsson, Connor Brown. Klingberg wasn't bad for them.
Jeff Skinner, I think.
Jeff Skinner, and they only added Mangiapane and then Isaac Howard, the young forward. But like
And
How could you say
Trent
that?
Frederick, don't forget about him.
Well,
Masterful scoring touch.
right. Yeah. I mean, they already had him, so I can't say they upgrade. But what do you think about that deal? 8 million, 8 years for what? Like 3
Yeah,
million or something like that?
Are you trying to
getting
upset
back
Mrs.
to
150?
McDavid, PJ. You look at Crosby. He never went for that lottery. McDavid has to say, if I want to stay in Edmonton and win, I need to take a little less than my market value and let's sign another couple of players. Crosby always stayed with that. What is it? 8.7 million. That was his number. You know, he makes money elsewhere. He didn't need any more. I'm sure he's going to get part ownership or whatever's going to go on. And that's the kind of deal he needs to make so they can get that defenseman they need. Otherwise, if they got to give him 15, 18 million or whatever the number is going to be, they're not going to be able to sign guys to win. Yeah, they'll put
No
fans
team
in the
is
seats.
ever going to win paying someone that. Never mind if it's
Right.
Edmonton. If you're
Right.
paying, it's ridiculous. But
And
all
players have
athletes
to
do it.
see
Like,
that.
well, like look at the year the Bruins won the President's Trophy. The Krejci was on for $1 million, and Bergeron was on for like $2 million, I think. The
Yeah,
Bruins
it
have
was
never
like-
paid Brad Marchand more than $6.5 million. Like, you know, if you want to win and put together teams that are going to
Yeah.
compete with the likes of Florida, you need deals that are friendly to your team.
And now Florida just did it right now. Bennett signed for what, 8? He could have got a lot
Yep.
more.
Yeah, we can get it. We can just
Marchand
do them
signed with
now.
a very reasonable deal. They signed. I'm like,
Yep.
how are they doing this?
Well,
Well,
the
it
nose
also
gotta
helps
have
when you
to.
don't pay taxes in Florida
Yeah,
too.
the income tax
Well,
is definitely a huge issue. I mean,
yeah,
you
definitely.
Can't ignore the,
Yeah, it is
can't
true,
ignore the
but
elephant in
still.
the room like, what's his name does. God, what's the commissioner's name?
Bettman.
Batman.
Just drew a huge blank there. Yeah, you can't ignore it completely, but he does have a point where you attract the talent. I mean, I don't know what Pittsburgh's income tax is looking like or whatever, but I was just looking up Edmonton's. It is a little ridiculous. New York's is obviously ridiculous. You know, I mean, the major cities are going to be up there. But yeah, I mean, it is tough because we were talking about Bouchard and Ekblad before, and they probably do take home around the same amount at the end of the day. So it definitely is unfair, and for the players especially, for sure, because you have to find that middle ground between trying to build a good team and also making money. But I'm sure they're well taken care of in Edmonton, where he can take a pay cut and make it back on sponsorship deals or something on the back end. But that's a whole nother discussion.
Well, he's got one more crack at it, tied in a little bit the CBA. I know we didn't get into it, but this is the last season where they technically can do those deferred money. I know the league shut that down real quick. Not that anyone really took advantage of it like an Ohtani deal, but
I think that's ridiculous anyway. I don't think you should be allowed to do that.
yeah, I'm curious what McDavid's going to do. It sounds like it might be more short term maybe now, but it's going to be very interesting because how can he look at the team right now? And I think his comments at the end of the year were like, are we going to be in a position? I need to be convinced that we're going to win.
I think he's going to sign like a 3-year deal, like $14 million or something like that.
Yeah, I could see it.
And then he's going to sign with the Bruins.
Yeah. Well, the Bruins, I'd heard it was Rangers or them for Eichel if he was going to be a free agent, but that doesn't feel like it's going to happen anymore, which sucks.
No.
All right, before we leave the West, Utah kind of stands out to me, what they're trying to build. Mike, you have anything to report on Utah or any kind of signings and stuff like that?
I think they're still a few years out, but I really like Logan Cooley. I think he's just such a fun player to watch. Like, he's got the edge and he competes. Nick Schmaltz really needs to play better if Utah is going to do well. He can't do however many games he went last year without scoring. Like, it was almost half the season. Like, he's a pretty big part of that team. He's a major facilitator in that offense, but he really needs to, get the ball rolling early for them if they're going to compete. But I think their bottom 6 is pretty sketchy. They kind of remind me of like the Senators' bottom 6 from the last 5+ years, where they're
Tanev should help that a little bit, though. That was a good signing.
Yeah, he's a good player, but he's a known commodity. He brings the same thing every night, and he brings it. He toes the line every night. But I don't know, for Utah, I think they just need a little more.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's your thoughts on that?
He's a good player. It'll be curious to see what he does on a decent team. I mean, Buffalo is just it's really hard to assess talent when they are playing on the Sabres because that organization is just a dumpster fire. Like they're just bad.
That might be an
And
understatement, Mikey.
yeah, yeah. But the jury's out on him. He's been put in a position to succeed. Let's put it that way. And so the onus is on him now to put up numbers because I think he's in a good spot with young players that can skate with him. He's a fast player, so we'll see how he does.
They'll definitely be fun to watch. There's no doubt about it. But I think they're a team that doesn't really have like a real goalie yet. But
I will say I'm excited to watch Veg Milk. I can't ever say his name. I'm not sure I do it, but he looked so good at times last year, like really, really, really good. So it'd be interesting to see if he pans out because if he does, that'd be a nice sort of ace up their sleeve, and they could just add a few more pieces on the back end and really be major competitors in the next few years.
For sure.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is they're trying to build something. They're putting in a lot of effort. I mean, not to rag on Arizona that much. We never got to go there or anything, but like the new arena, new jerseys, I'm sure they're very well taken care of by ownership, all that stuff. They're trying to make trades like the JJ Paterka trade. I don't remember Arizona ever trying to make trades like that or being able to make a trade like that, to even like make the news, you know what I mean? So like I said, it seems like that organization's going in the right direction. And technically Coach Ed and I are on the wait list for season tickets, so
nice.
We'll see if that ever comes to be. But I was going to do a quick money grab there. Anyway, before officially leaving the West, Mikey, you want to bring anything up? I mean, Vegas, Colorado's in the first half of the Rangers season. I believe they played Dallas in December. They actually played Colorado twice in the first half of the season.
Yeah, I'm curious about the Ducks. I think they had a really good offseason.
The Ducks too. Yeah, we should talk about the Ducks as well.
That ties in a lot with the Rangers.
Yeah, since it's the Rangers of the West.
Yeah, let me pull up the Ducks here. I got them somewhere.
It was Carolina, now it's the Ducks.
Yeah, it's the OCR Ocean.
Yeah, they got. Well, I'll just quickly. I can recap. They got Mikhail Granlund, Kreider. Obviously, they traded Gibson finally, but got Mrazek back. Traded Zegras, got Paling back.
Yeah, I think Mike Granlund. Granlund was huge. Zegras, he went to Philly, I think. Philly?
Correct.
Yeah.
Good thing Gorge isn't there still.
Oh, no, he would never have gone there. Are you kidding me?
Zegras and Michkov with the lacrosse goal.
Yeah. Good Lord. Isn't he?
It's not much different.
So Philly, we got to touch on Philly because that is specifically Zegras because it's going to be interesting. I'm drawing a blank here. The defenseman that came over from Anaheim. What's his name? Yeah, they're like best buddies.
They are
like best friends. So I'm curious to see how that dynamic works out in Philly if that sort of gives Zegras a boost. But we're talking about the Ducks. They got Mrazek. I think their goalie situation had gotten pretty stale. I think Gibson had wanted out for a long time. Mrazek was, granted he played for Chicago last year, but he was unbelievable at times last season. Even, facing 40 plus shots a night, he was so good on Chicago. I think he was a great add. He'll definitely add some stability. I think he'll probably be their backup goaltender if Philly Husso can really get the ball rolling. But regardless,
no, is Dostal. He's a stud.
It is Dostal. Okay, he's amazing as well.
High up and the goal saved above expected. That guy's really good.
Yeah, he played incredible at the end of for most of last season. Actually, he was in for the latter part. I would say the last 2/3 of the season. I did forget about him, but they have they got a good mix of veterans in that lineup now that can help their young talent. I think they need to get Mason McTavish on the books. That dude's a stud. He's got, he's a real power forward, and I think the Ducks are actually. I never thought I'd be saying this at the start of the season, but I think they're actually making the right moves and addressing what they need.
We got some chatter in the chat that he might be available. Why would he be available if he's that? Sounds like he's pretty valuable.
I think because
Who
he's an
is this?
RFA still, McTavish.
McTavish? Yeah,
Mhm.
he's an RFA. Yeah.
He hasn't signed yet, so that's the speculation. But this happens. This is the league wide thing, and funny we're talking about league wide stuff. I feel like all we heard before this summer was going to be the cap's going up. There's going to be offer sheets crazy. There's going to be tons of trades, and it was nothing. Like really, not a lot of big trades. The free agency was kind of dud, other than Marner and those guys and Ehlers. It was very weird. Like I almost feel like something's still going to happen where it usually doesn't in hockey after July 1st, but
I feel like the league is kind of at a point where they're sort of at a changing of the guard. And I think you have a lot of the team, like, mostly your Atlantic and your Metro teams that have been, Carolina, the Lightning, these teams have been, even the Rangers, the Bruins, that have all been at the top of their standings forever. And now you got, Montreal coming up, you got the Senators coming up, you got the Blue Jackets coming up. Like, even Philly, like I hesitate to rule them out at this point. Like they have a lot of young talent there, and I'm going to be curious to see what they do. But there's a lot of teams that are really have made the moves and they have the young talent. And Detroit is another one. They have the young talent in their system, and they're working on developing that talent rather than making big moves at this point.
What did
So I
Philly
think
do with
that's
goaltending?
they have that kid. They have a few.
they just got
Samuel Urson.
Mhm.
He was very good. He was hurt for points last season. They have that Yaroslav Askarov. I feel like they
he's in
traded
San
him to
Jose.
San Jose.
They just got Dan Vladar from Calgary.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
Ex-Bruin, right?
And drafted by the Bruins. Yeah, they signed, so it was him and Swayman. He actually won the AHL Vezina, and then the Bruins traded him to Calgary like a year or two later. But anyway,
He's a big boy.
Yep. But didn't they have a third goalie in the system? I feel like they have another one
They
that
had
they
those
drafted.
Russian kids like Kolosov
Yeah.
and Fedotov who really struggled last year.
Fedotov. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I'm curious to see what they do because they did let go of Morgan Frost. But they did sign Zegras. So curious to see what he'll do with what's his name there? Jesus, I can't even. Draisaitl. No, not Draisaitl. Oh my God.
Drysdale.
You mean Mitchkov?
Drysdale. That's the one.
Drysdale, yeah.
Yeah. And Matvey Michkov is I'm curious to see how he'll do as well. He was pretty electric at times last season. So pieces are there for a team like Philly. So but to my original point, there is a changing of the guard. And Rick Tocchet did wonders in Vancouver when they were in a similar situation to the Flyers. So
Yeah, it almost seems like there's not a lot of teams rebuilding. So like it's either going to be 1-for-1 trades or it's no teams are selling off. Like it's pretty much as Pittsburgh and the Blackhawks, maybe San Jose's actually has added a lot. So like who's really pumping guys?
No, you're absolutely right. I don't see anybody really selling. A lot of these teams are content where they're at. Like, the Rangers and the Bruins are prime examples of that. Like no real major additions. I mean, Gavrikov we went through, but these teams are really staying put for the most part.
All right, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, so let's move. Any final thoughts on the West?
Well, what about you want to talk Vegas and Marner? Curious your thoughts.
Right. Well, that's a really interesting one. That's I think Mitch will do really well outside of the spotlight.
He's gonna.
I mean, that's not to say Vegas isn't like he is. He's gonna absolutely shred it because even when they get to the playoffs, like Vegas fans know what Mitch did in Toronto, and they know what they have on their team. The players that they have won them a Stanley Cup, so they're not expecting Marner to come in and be the guy that wins them a Stanley Cup.
Right.
He just needs to put up, 20 points in the playoffs.
And Vegas has the structure where like his defensive or lack of physicality shouldn't really matter.
Yep. And Vegas has also shown that they run their team like a business. So if he comes in and doesn't fill the role that they need him to, he'll be out of there so fast.
It's
so
amazing.
For a team like Vegas, yeah, it's incredible. It is a player is just, it's an asset. It's a business asset and nothing more than that.
They took advantage of those rules when they changed it for the expansion and oh man, did they run with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm curious with them though. They lost some D. Was that their big thing? Was they had all those big, redwood, big time defensemen back there, and Haig's gone. Pitcher Angelo is probably going to miss the whole season or probably retire. It sounds
Yep.
like they
Yep.
didn't really fill that back in much. So I'm curious. They're going to be loaded up front, especially in the top six. But would you play Marner and Eichel together, or would you separate them?
Probably separate them. That's not a lot of physical presence on one line. If you're going to play them together, you need to have a power, like a power. What does Marner shoot? Right? You need a power left wing on that line with them,
Him and
like
Eichel
someone
are
that.
both
Yeah, you just need somebody that can bang in the corners, because that's not Marner and that's not Eichel.
Yeah, and then the only other note I had out west was Dallas. Like it feels like they just lost guys, lost Dadenoff, lost Granlund, traded Marchment. They have no cap space because they gave it all to Rantanen. What's your thoughts on Jason Robertson? Does he stay?
I don't know. I think he kind of has to stay because they got rid of Logan Stankoven. That's tough. Like he was one of their upcoming offensive talents. And if they're going to continue to compete in the West, like they need that firepower up front. So they need to find a way to keep Robertson, I think, if they're going to still want to compete with the likes of Vegas and Winnipeg, and even Colorado.
I just don't know how
Who's
they
their new
afford him.
coach?
What's that?
Who's Dallas's new coach?
Glenn Gullickson. He was Edmonton's assistant. DeBoer will definitely, whoever fires a coach first this season, DeBoer will go right in there, I'm sure.
Yeah. I think the problem with Dallas is their defense. I don't think their defense is very good.
Well, I like Harley and Heiskanen are really good, but you're right. After that, they're a lot.
There's nothing really. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was talking about.
What-
They have to re-sign Harley, and Robertson's talking probably going to get 10 or more million. I don't know how the hell they afford that, even with the cap going up. Which is why
they're going to have to.
talked about.
Yeah, they're going to have to move somebody for sure.
It's hard to really pinpoint what happened to Dallas in the playoffs last year. I feel like just like their top dogs, like they just kind of ran out of gas. Like there wasn't enough. Like it wasn't enough of them, first of all, and then the ones that they did have, like just ran out of gas. You just couldn't do it.
And Dallas was streaky last year too.
The goaltending situation.
Yeah.
The playoffs was crazy.
Well, what they were, Dallas was like ice cold going into the playoffs. And then they found their game round one and beat Vegas. Then they kind of rolled through Colorado. And everyone was like, oh, they're humming now. And then what did they win the first game or against Edmonton? They killed them. And then they got
steamrolled after that.
Yeah. But it was just like they lost 3 straight conference final games. Now they've gotten worse. Lost to Boer.
They're just the West Coast, they're Western Conference Carolina Hurricanes.
I love that. With a better goalie.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Colorado stayed quiet, I think. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, I guess they would be did I forget anybody else in the West before we move on?
None of the good. But yeah, Colorado.
I think they stayed because they signed Nelson and they want to keep him. I think their offseason was the trade deadline, more or less.
Right. Yeah, they signed Brent Burns.
Yeah, right.
And then they lost they traded away Coyle and Miles Wood to Columbus.
Yeah.
Lost Drouin and Lindgren. But they still have like $4 million in cap space, so I'm curious if they do something.
Yeah, and I mean they fleeced Carolina in that Rantanen deal. Like Marty Necas he's an offensive dynamo. And now they have 2 shooters on their power play. Like he was such a significant upgrade for Colorado.
I heard. There was like rumors that the Rangers were talking to them about Necas, and I would have loved that get. I don't know. I think the deal would have been centered around Keandre somehow, but obviously I don't think it's going to happen now. But that would have been a great get because he's a free agent after this season. So I'm curious what they do. He's apparently going to want some big bucks.
Yeah.
Which will be interesting because they didn't want to give Rantanen that money, but if he gives Necas 10 or more, couldn't he just kept him?
True. Probably should have. I mean, that Natchez is just an electric player, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah, he's gonna want to stay too.
Chris says no to Natchez, but
That'll be our new thing we argue with in the Instagram. Chris.
all right. Let's finally move over to the East. Let's just get it out of the way quick. Mikey 150's favorite player, obviously, resigns in Florida. Brad Marchand. Should we start with the Bruins, or should we just discuss all the Florida stuff first?
Well, I can go through the Bruins in like 3 seconds. The Bruins are going for draft picks, folks. It's pretty obvious there.
Well, let's hear.
Mikey
You gotta give us
Isemont.
You got to give us a better clip
Mikey,
than that. Let's vent about Sweeney. Vent about Cam.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on their head coach hire.
Well, coach is an unproven. I mean, Marco Sturm, he played for the Bruins. He was great when he played, fun to watch. But I don't know that he has much of any coaching experience to speak of that I know of, at least. But the Bruins have a habit of going back to old players for management positions. You know, Chris Kelly behind the bench. You got Sweeney and Neely in the front office. Like, they just love going back to former players. So we'll see how he does. Like I said, there's really not much to say about him because he doesn't have much coaching history to really fall back on.
Was there anyone
he uses as a reference point
other than him, or you just
Patrice Bergeron?
I could see that eventually being the thing, or him being
I could too,
taking over like for president or GM or something.
Yeah, he's definitely going to end up in the Bruins front office at some point for sure. But I mean, as far as players the Bruins signed, the Bruins are going to regret Tanner Jeannot's contract. Like, I don't know what Sweeney's thinking signing him. What was it, 6 years for like $3.5 million? Like, he's a $2 million player at best.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already going to go back to the hold on. I'm already going to go back to the West before we move away from Bergeron. The Sharks just hired Joe Thornton to be like head of player development or whatever. Basically, he's just going to move all the young guys into his house and just hang out with them and just guide them into the NHL. It's crazy. That's all he's going to do.
When Brent Burns retires in like 2050, they're going to hire him on, and they're going to be co-player development.
Yeah, they're just going to have it's going to be like a compound. Like, there's two
massive
huge houses.
compound.
And, each player has like their own room and everything.
Yeah, beard's mandatory.
But maybe not to that extent, but Bergeron, they should hire him in a similar role. I mean, just meet the players, set the tone. It's like kind of like being a captain without being on the team, like explaining what the culture is, what the organization expects the culture to be. It's a little bit different coming from, say, Bergeron or Joe Thornton than coming from head management. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
You want the guy that's been in the trenches, in that.
Yeah,
you want the guy that's been there that you've watched,
When you think about Boston Bruins, when you think about Boston Bruins culture, you think about Bergeron. I mean, Marchand too to a certain extent, but definitely Bergeron.
Yeah,
and Chara, I guess too. But all those, he should be involved too.
Yeah,
start training in the off season, running triathlons with the young kids.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, but I mean, as far as the Bruins go, just for to be serious about them, if they're gonna do anything this year, they need more from Elias Lindholm. I think that goes without said. You pay a guy $7.5 million a year, and he does what he did last year. That's an abomination, and just simply can't happen. Morgan Geekie has shown he can play with David Pastrnak. That's huge. I know when last time I was on here, I think around trade deadline time, I was ripping on the Sweeney for that Carlo deal with Toronto. Fraser Minton looked really good in the few games that he played in a Bruins uniform at the end of the season. So I'm kind of excited to see what he does. He'll likely slot in the bottom six, probably third line center. They got Hagens from BC in the draft. That was a really, really good pick. I can't believe he fell that low. And then as far as their offseason signings, they're just, placeholders for when some of these younger players can develop, like, Fabian Lysell being one of them down in Providence. And they also need McAvoy to get back healthy. And Mason Lohrei needs to. He doesn't need to, but it'd be nice to see him make some leaps this season and really step in and get on that number one power play unit and make something happen there and learn that role. I think that would be
sleeper this year.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to put up 50, 60 plus points this year.
I'm noting that.
No doubt. A lot of them on the power play too.
What has to happen for Sweeney to get fired at this rate, or is it never going to happen?
Never.
I don't think it's ever going to happen. I think the Bruins organization especially with Neely in the position that he's in, like they just like their previous players too much. And I really don't think they're going to get rid of Sweeney. Like the only thing that I think that could oust him would be someone like Chara or Bergeron stepping into that role. But I honestly don't think that's a role that they would necessarily fit in or want. Yeah. Yeah.
No, fit in too.
Yeah. But Neely's Sweeney's he's just a bad GM, like really, really bad. Terrible at drafting. He just does not make good moves. I don't know. It's just really been disappointing. And the worst part about it is his tires get pumped so hard because he has such a good regular season record. But as far as I know, the regular season doesn't win you the Stanley Cup. So
do you have any fear that Pasta might decide or want to ask for a trade at any point?
That's a good question. I think that will depend largely on what happens with the younger players this season and whether or not those players pan out, and if they don't, what Sweeney does about it. So I think the Bruins are it remains to be seen. The Bruins are in a position to not necessarily rebuild and sort of skip a lot of the pain and suffering that comes with a proper rebuild with respect to the players that they currently have in their organization, but they need to pan out and they need to develop them correctly. And I think Pastrnak will be a big part of that. But if they don't pan out and Sweeney sticks around, I can definitely see him asking for a trade.
I mean, I'm sure we talked about this already with you, but the Marchand trade, I mean, why wouldn't they have offered him, or why do you think they didn't give him the deal he wanted to stick around to kind of do exactly what you just said, guide through the rebuild?
Buddy, that is the $1 million question. I think every single Bruins fan has been asking themselves that question since Marchand got traded. Like, I still feel like that was the biggest slap in the face that Sweeney could possibly have given to Marchand. Like the word was he offered him around $3 million a year. Like, I'm sorry, but this man is your captain. Like, even if you plan on having a couple down years where you're trying to build up your system again and develop some young talent, Jesus, give him $6.5–7 million a year for 2-3 years.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, it's not like they're trying to like squeeze in like this contract or whatever. Like, from what it sounds like, they're gonna have plenty of space, or like if they're really trying to rebuild, they're gonna struggle to hit the floor. So I don't.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
I don't think I talked to you since the trade, Mike. Were you guys shocked at that? Because I was shocked.
I absolutely flabbergasted, Coach. I can't even remember, but I thought it was a joke when I first heard it. Like it didn't make any sense.
The return was like nothing too.
Well, that was
nothing. A conditional second.
If they were getting like 2 first or some stud prospect, something like you can kind of at least feel better about it in a way. But like you have nothing to show for it.
Nothing. A conditional second round. I can't remember what it turned into.
Did they become a first because they won the cup?
It might have become a first, yeah. But I mean, with Don Sweeney's drafting history, like, what are we even talking about?
That's true. You don't want picks back for him.
You just said they got
no reason
Don
why.
Sweeney.
If
the
the Rangers got something for Keandre, then there's no reason why the Panthers couldn't have tossed the Bruins something. Even if it's like anything. They didn't get any player back, just a pick. That's crazy.
That's the other side of that move that's so bad is not only did they offer him, packing peanuts, and he said no, then Sweeney said, all right, where do you want to go? We'll trade you there, like out of respect for you at being our captain. Florida didn't even want Marchand. Like, they were in no way, shape, or form in the market. It's my understanding that the Bruin or Sweeney called them and said, Brad wants to come there. What will you give me? And they, a conditional second. Sure thing. Like, it's horrible.
I'll take
It's
it.
terrible. Like, my
The guy
God.
probably
man.
looked at his phone like, what? What's going
Yeah,
on?
literally.
Yeah, exactly.
Twist
That's
my arm.
terrible. Yeah, twist my rubber arm. Like, oh my God.
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
not
Getting
ideal.
back to trading Don Sweeney, I think I mentioned this before on the air. Back in I want to say it was either late 70s or early 80s, the Rangers traded for Quebec's coach, Michel Bergeron, I think it was.
Really?
Yeah.
You could.
They
I
traded
guess
for
you
the
could
coach.
at the time.
Yeah, I think
PJ,
you
look
could.
that.
You can't do it anymore.
PJ, look that up. What's the ruling?
But can we trade GMs?
I know you can't trade coaches anymore. I know that for a fact.
Well, I want to know when the rule changed or why it changed or what the. There's got to be some kind of history about it or something. That's that's odd.
Yeah, because there was a lot of talk before Sullivan became the Rangers coach through the Rangers trade. Yeah, first of all, that Bergeron thing was exactly why, Coach. You're right on. The NHL implemented a rule change that eliminated the ability to trade coaches after the '87 trade involving Michel Bergeron.
87 it was? I thought it was earlier than that.
The Rangers traded a first-round pick in cash to acquire him as a head coach.
That's crazy.
If I was a coach and someone traded for me, I would have the biggest ego on the planet.
Yeah, Coach. Coach, what if Farmingdale trades for you and you got to go coach Farmingdale instead of Stony Brook?
If they're paying me a nice chunk, I'll be there in a second.
Just throw it out.
Hopefully none of our players are listening.
But
if not, we'll know now. This is the true test if any of our players listen to the pod.
What was your? I guess we'll just get. We did Florida a little bit, but what do you not think that Marchand deal is cap circumvention? 6 years, whatever he got. There's no way he's finishing that deal.
It definitely is.
Zero.
Why not?
No way.
I know, but there's no way he should be allowed to do that.
I think he'll play.
He's 37 right now.
He plays like a high school hockey player. That kid he'll sit out 3 months and be ready for playoffs. He's having a ball. I would not be surprised if he plays 6 more years.
He said he feels young again. So
Brett Burns is still playing, and so is Corey Perry. Why can't Marchand play?
Fair, I guess we'll see.
Yeah. How old's Perry now?
Brett Burns, 42 years old now, 41 at least.
Yeah,
Brent Burns is a freak. That dude doesn't count.
Definitely is.
He's a fitness fanatic.
Yeah.
Marchand's in pretty good shape.
Burns is 40, and Perry is 40 as well. So it's possible.
Yeah.
Not possible, probable, I would say.
Fair enough.
But either way, whether he finishes it or not, this is what I was saying about on last week's episode, where the Gavrikov deal. I think obviously it's not getting him up to age 40, but it's a similar situation. Toss on the extra year, bring down the AAV.
Yeah, you're definitely seeing a lot of teams doing that.
Is it circumvention? Yes. I mean, but it kind of screws the team in a way too. You have to worry about that contract, whether how big or small it is. It's still, you got to worry about it.
Yep.
Yeah, but it affords you to sign. It affords you to sign a couple more players in the if they're that close.
Right. It gives you it opens your immediate window a little, or keeps it open a little bit that much longer. And then they don't care how bad they are, how good they are in 7 years, 6 years.
Right. After back-to-back cups, they could do whatever they want, I guess.
Yeah. And at this rate, they're going to win another 2 or 3 with this lineup. It's crazy. But all right, anything else on the Bruins before we move off of them? This is your chance, Mike.
No, give me that first round draft pick. Give me what's his name there, Gavin McKenna.
What about McAvoy? The Rangers going to get.
I don't know what's going on with him, to be honest. We're going to see how he comes back after a shoulder.
Or maybe the Islanders are trading.
Yeah, remember, Mike Sullivan is McAvoy's father-in-law. And his sister, McAvoy's sister, works for the Rangers, so it just fits. And he's best buds with Foxy.
You guys can all kick rocks with bare feet down a 10-mile road.
Clip that for
Hey,
when
Mike, if they traded Marchand, anything's possible.
You're not wrong. Yep. We are talking about Don Sweeney here. All right.
The Rangers might have missed their opportunity. Should have called Sweeney for Keandre.
You
first.
know that.
Yeah. I was just going to say that.
Keandre,
imagine if they traded Keandre for McAvoy.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Oh
my God!
If you're very, why not?
I would have felt bad.
Just call Sweeney.
Oh, man.
Offer. Just keep calling him. You don't know what he's going to do.
My God.
So when Bill Zito calls, you don't pick up. When Sweeney calls, you absolutely pick up.
Yep. And you don't hang up.
Yeah. Funny.
I think we'll stay in the Atlantic.
Well, let's stay in the Atlantic. What do you want to hit now?
Do Toronto or Montreal? I'm curious on Montreal. They look pretty good.
I'm curious on Montreal too. I think Montreal has potential to be a wagon at times this season.
They are fast and fun and only got better.
Montreal is pretty well writing the book on how you rebuild a hockey club. Yeah. I mean, it started when they got Nick Suzuki from Vegas however many years ago, and it's just only got better with almost every move that they've made.
Well,
I mean,
yeah. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say they're incredible. I mean, every player on this roster is just even their most recent move. They picked up that kid Zach Bolduc from St. Louis. He looked so good last year. So good.
Do that. I don't understand.
I don't either. I mean, they did give up Logan Mailloux there, that young defenseman, but Montreal is defenseman in spades, and I mean to get that Bolduc kid from St. Louis and slap him on your third line, that kid has potential to be a top line scoring winger if he keeps playing like he did last year at times.
And this is going to be top 5 in goals this season. I feel
absolutely.
Thompson on the back end now too, and holy crap, that power play is going to be electric.
Yeah, and I mean, they are really good defensively too, really good. That kid, Caden Gooley, there, he is a monster on the back end. He's
I remember that
kid. He's kind of like a diet version of Mo Sider. Mo Sider is a freak, but Caden Gooley he's a monster in the defensive end, just in the same capacity that Sider is. You just don't even want to be on the same half of the ice as him. And you put that.
And I'm surprised with the city of Montreal itself, being so patient. Because I equate them to the Yankees, where if the Yankees don't win every year, the fans are nuts.
See, that's Toronto up here.
Yeah, I'm surprised Montreal isn't like that because they're so used to winning.
In Canada, we had the Edmonton fiasco with all those first round draft picks we talked about, and then now they're seeing the Leafs go through it with all those high picks that they got and not winning. So I think Montreal fans and hockey fans in general in Canada are significantly more educated than they are in the States, just because it's all they play on SportsCenter is hockey. There's no basketball, it's just hockey. And they have seen 2 different Canadian clubs rush rebuilds and fail spectacularly. So I think they are well aware of that. And I think that's sort of helping them be a bit more patient with what the Canadiens organization is doing.
Well, they should also thank the Rangers for firing Gorton.
They have a lot of people to thank for the lineup they currently have.
Gordon did some shitty work here, though. As much as good as he did a lot of bad drafting. So, but they're Montreal's young kids. You can tell they're built for it, man. They were unbelievable down the run, and in the first round, Suzuki, Caulfield, Slavkovsky, they did not shy away from the big moment. I mean, they are every game down the stretch.
And it didn't really come easy. And I got to give them credit for being patient with St. Louis. I mean, you look at a team like the Rangers, they fired the coach, the last 3 coaches after 2 years. It's hard to be part of a rebuild when you don't have a consistent coach and system. You know, the impatience. And
Just
even
look at
Cofield
Buffalo.
had issues. They didn't fire St. Louis over sending him down. You know, there were issues with him. Everything wasn't perfect. You know, and they stuck with him, and he had a thing going, and they trusted it, and now they're on their way. You know.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Can't argue with that.
Oh, you want to do Toronto now?
Yeah, Mike's favorite team, Toronto, the arch nemesis.
I love that. They are one of my favorite teams. I love the Leafs. They never fail to disappoint. They never fail to disappoint. Yeah,
Man,
they're going to be fun to watch this year. I think getting rid of Mitch that'll definitely help them out a lot. I mean, there's I don't know any number of bad news stories about Mitch Marner on a daily basis during the regular season and playoff time, and it's like he just had ever since. So when the Bruins knocked him out 2 years ago, and him and Matthews didn't show up for the series, they started talking about trading him. And then all last season, it's, we should have traded Mitch. So now that he's gone, I think that'll free them up. They signed Nyes, who is he is such a good player, man. He's built for the playoffs. He shreds the Bruins every time he plays them. He's big. He's a power forward. He's a great player to watch. That kid, Bobby McMahon, on the left wing, he's going to develop into a nice scorer. Definitely a middle six player with potential to play on the first line. I was a bit curious at why they let that kid Pontus Holmberg go. I saw him play a few times last season, and he seemed like he was a really, really skilled player. I was a bit curious about that one, but I think the Leafs are still going to be plagued by the same problems. It's just their back end. Their defensemen and their goaltending has always been their problem. I think their goaltending is pretty good if what's his name there? I'm drawing a blank there. Stolarz. Yeah, if Stolarz can stay healthy through the playoffs, that'll help them significantly. But I think they need to bulk up their defensive core still. Like, they just don't have grit in any of their defensemen.
Did they lose Tanev, you said before?
No, I was talking about Chris Tanev, the forward from Seattle.
Oh. Yeah, his brother. Yeah.
No, they really added a defense. They still have like almost $5 million in cap. So I'm curious if they're going to do anything else.
They have to. They got to. I mean, Brandon Carlo was a good acquisition. He's a great defenseman. He'll sit there and eat pucks, but he's not. He doesn't. He's not going to freight train somebody. He's not going to give you one on the wrists. Like, he's not that kind of player. And that's the kind of player they need on the back end, and it's just still not there.
I don't think
you need guys that aren't going to panic under that heavy pressure. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
You don't have to be crazy physical, but you got to be able to handle that pressure and move the puck up the wall, make the right play. The first pass we always talk about. It's been like that for ages. You got to have that. That's what Edmonton didn't have, and that's what Toronto doesn't have. As soon as that panic sets in, they just cough it up.
Yeah, and Austin Matthews also needs to score goals in the playoffs too. But
he needs to stay healthy for sure.
That doesn't help. But they're better. I feel like they were better under Berube. I mean, they gave Florida a run there until game 7.
They were much better under Berube. Much better. They're
heading the right direction with them for sure.
Yep, they had a much better defensive presence, and their game was a lot more structured. I found with Sheldon Keefe there, once they got on their end of their half of the red line, it was just anarchy. If you played a team had any sort of offensive structure, the Leafs were toast. And now with Berube, I feel like they're much more organized, and they're not running around like chickens with their heads cut off in their own end. Like, they get the puck back there and they know what to do with it.
Yeah, and I don't think they fully replaced. Well, definitely not fully. I don't think they've even come close to replacing Marner's production. I mean, you got to assume that Nyes will put up a few more points than last year, and some other players might step up. But
that's a lot of points to replace.
Yeah, a lot of points.
But honestly, did they need that to replace that many points? Like
the
they
thing
have
too.
Matthews, they have Nylander, like they have plenty of offense.
That's what
Maybe
I was
like
going to say too.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's similar to. I mean, I'm sure Chris will be in the chat about replacing Panarin's point production in the regular season. I mean, you just got to find. It's got to be by committee. You
Yeah,
know,
you got to spread it out.
You got to spread it out. I mean, there's no reason why
Look,
Nylander can't. How many points does
I go
Nylander?
back.
What is his top? What's Nylander's top points?
Maybe-
got to be well over 100. You know, he's got to be around
Really?
the 110. Yeah,
I wasn't sure if he ever breached the 100-point mark, but
I'm looking now. I thought it was like 90 something, but it could be 100 easy. I mean, he's a stud.
yeah, yeah. If it's not over 100, I would say it will be this year, definitely.
yeah.
But like, think about like the Islanders team from when what's his face was coaching. They
Al
basically
Arbor.
won hockey games by playing defense, and they would just capitalize on a few fast break chances and win a hockey game.
Yep.
And so,
Mike,
like, the Leafs don't need. What's that? Go
You
ahead.
took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say that about the Islanders dynasty. Yet they had their couple of goal scorers like Toronto. Obviously, Mike Bossy's one of the best ever. Trottier was a beast. But you had the defense. You had Potvin back there. You had Ken Morrow steady. And they moved the puck and they spread out the scoring. I remember one year as a kid, they had like, I want to say like 10, 20 goal scorers or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, scoring by
know,
committee is the scariest type of
you
team to
have
play
to-
against.
Especially now with the salary cap. You're not going to be able to rely on three guys. It's got to be spread out.
That's
I'm not
what
saying 20
Winnipeg.
goals, but yes.
Yeah, Winnipeg is the textbook example of that. They have been for the last 4, 5, 6 seasons. They have more 20-goal scorers on that team than any other team in the NHL, and it's a really hard team dynamic to play against because it's not like going against Edmonton where you shut down Draisaitl and McDavid and you're 99% going to win the game.
Yeah.
So I think Toronto could take could learn a lot from that. And go ahead.
Losing
This is
Marner,
exactly
that's
what I'm
going
saying.
to give them other guys opportunities to put 10, 15 goals up and a little more ice time. You got to have that healthy competition. Somebody's got to step in.
Absolutely. And if you could,
sorry.
no, I was saying, if you can take that salary and boost up your middle six, like that takes ice time away from, guys like Matthews and Nylander. So come third period when it's tied 2-2, they don't already have, 18, 19 minutes of ice time. They're down to 16, 17 minutes. So they can be on the ice for, 2 minutes and not be dogged like they would be otherwise.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
So. Yeah, I was gonna say that, and then they got that Michelli guy from Utah. I thought that was actually a sneaky good bet.
He's got right. Matthias, yeah.
He had a bad year last year, but the year before, I think he was pushing like 60 points or something close. But he's got a lot of talent, so I feel like he could change the scenery. Didn't give up anything.
Yeah, they got Robertson's younger brother too.
I feel like he's never really carved out a role yet there.
No, he looked good at times. Like he's got good hands and he can skate, but he just needs to put it together with a bit of consistency. And I think he can be a pretty good player too.
Yeah, I mean Toronto's always going to be a threat. Like I said before about Crosby, if you have Matthews or Nylander on your team, there's always the threat of offense, and Nyes is definitely becoming one of those guys as well. All right, moving off the Leafs, another team in the East that stands out to me, or is a question mark compared to last year, would be Washington. Mikey, do you think they take a step back? Do you think last year was kind of just like riding the high of the Ovechkin chase and things like that, or do you think they're going to be a playoff team again this year?
I think it's definitely there's no way they're going to be as good as they were last year. I mean, Connor McMichael was like one of their leading scorers for like half the season. Like I just can't see a team that relies on someone like him for points to put it together for a couple of years. Like I don't know. I don't really see it with them. They have good players for sure, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think you're looking at Dylan Strome and Pierre-Luc Dubois down the middle on your first two lines and saying this is a Stanley Cup contender.
Yeah,
can't disagree there, but definitely not Stanley Cup.
They didn't really do anything other than losing Mangiapane either. So yeah, I think everything went well for them. Like everything. Everyone had career years. Ovi was a slap back to where it used to be. It was insane.
Logan Thompson turned into a freak of a goalie. Like,
Yeah, right.
I don't see it happening again.
That's one team where I think the Rangers can push and get back if they get to their normal selves again. That's one team that could maybe come down a little bit. Or if Jersey can't stay healthy, we'll probably get them next.
Yeah, the Rangers are definitely on paper a better team than Washington, without a doubt.
I would hope so. I really would hope so. Okay. Who else in the Metro? Let's go to Carolina.
Carolina, yeah.
Yeah, I think Carolina's a good one.
Carolina, our favorite nemesis, whatever you want to call it. The rival that never scares us, but is always a challenge. What do you see them doing? I mean, personally, I still don't see them making that move that they need. Ehlers is obviously a very good player. From what I hear, I mean, we don't get to watch him every night, but like he is willing to play a little bit bigger than he is, but like just doesn't really move the needle for me. You know, it doesn't really make me nervous about going head to head with them in a 7-game series.
I'm a bit torn on that one. I think the moves they made were good for sure. And we can't overlook that kid Stankhoven that they got last year in the Renton deal from Dallas. He's a really good young player, and he can put the puck in the back of the net. He's small and he's fast, and he's a good creator in the offensive zone. To that same point, that's a lot of the game that Ehlers plays. Carolina, for me, their problem has always been their scoring is kind of one-dimensional. It's got to come from Aho. And if he's not on the ice, they're going to have a pretty hard time scoring. A guy like Ehlers, he can play. He plays bigger than he is for sure, as you said, but he's a creator as well. Like he can get to areas of the ice, empty areas of the ice, and he can shoot the puck. He doesn't need someone to pass it to him. He doesn't need someone to facilitate for him. He can create on his own, and he's a good finisher. So I think he brings another scoring dynamic to the Hurricanes that they have really been lacking.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, Jesperi Kotkaniemi is your second line center. Like,
yeah, that's what I was about
it really doesn't, blow my hair back.
No.
And Stahl's getting very old.
Yeah, but he can still win faceoffs, and that can't be understated.
Yeah, he's not there for his goal scoring.
No, he's there to win faceoffs.
He's losing that speed, and that's really that's their game. They like fast people, so I wonder how long he lasts.
And he used to be their shutdown guy. If you can't keep up with the guys you're trying to shut down, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
And then goalie still. Like
the goaltending is the biggest thing for me. I mean, I know I said that you're still looking for like that top goal scorer, like that physicality, whatever you want to call it, but like the goaltending, Freddie Anderson he's almost 42, right?
He's like 43 now. 42.
He's already 40.
Oh, he's not that old.
What?
He was 40.
No
I'm
way.
pretty sure he's 42 or 41 at least.
I was gonna say I didn't want to be.
He's 35. He's 35. You gotta be 30.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Swear.
You guys are off by 6 years.
I just looked it up.
We're thinking of somebody else then, because somebody's definitely goalie at 40. Maybe not.
I'm thinking of Dan Alfredson.
Even when he looks decent in the regular season, he looked decent against Jersey, but man, Florida ate him up again, and like I just know the Rangers do that to him too. Like he just
he just seems so much older because he gets hurt all the time.
Who are we thinking of? There's definitely.
I don't know.
I can't even think who you're thinking of, to be honest. That's an older goal. There's goalies don't last anymore to that. Like Quick is the oldest goalie in the league, I think, right now.
Huh.
Quickie.
I'll think of it.
This is gonna drive me nuts.
Hey, how about a little shout out to
who was Florida's backup?
Vanacek? He's not that old.
No,
Vanacek's not on Florida anymore.
He was, but yeah, I don't know.
Who was their backup last year?
Lions.
This is a great podcast.
Yeah.
Lions with their backup.
Spencer Knight at times.
No, there was an old guy recently who won the cup.
Well, there was like old back in the few years ago. It was like Fleury was the oldest, I guess. And
Yeah, how old was Fleury?
he's 39.
Damn,
40.
no, he didn't hit 40 either. All right, whatever. Move on.
Yeah,
Hey, before we get off the Hurricane, shout out to Jesper Foss, retired.
Wasn't
the
that
neck injury.
When was that?
Like a week ago.
A week
Yeah,
ago?
he couldn't come back because he had that
ago?
neck injury and just surgery and just couldn't play again.
That's sad.
That sucks.
Was it really a week ago?
I think it was a little
I'm
longer
not
than
sure
that,
the
but
time
somewhere
frame.
in
It
there.
wasn't
Yeah.
that long ago they announced it. Well, he announced it.
Gotcha. All right, so after Carolina, who do we say you wanted to go to next?
New
Devils?
Jersey?
Oh yeah, I was talking about the Devils.
Is this
They
the
didn't
last
really
one?
do
Should we
much
save the
either.
Devils for last?
Yeah, let's wrap this up. Coming on 2
Yeah,
hours.
how do we always go almost 2 hours? I thought this would be a fast episode.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I wanted to keep to an hour. Anyway,
Well, the Devils aren't going to win the cup, so
is Jack Hughes hitting the gym yet? What are we saying? Nothing.
has he hit puberty yet?
I'm so pissed you didn't get that reel I sent because that guy just tore him apart. Everything that you've been saying, I've been saying, tore him apart.
Yeah, even I think even Ken Danico I saw saying it that he's got to.
Really?
It's getting to be about time. He might have been
I
on
don't
the
like-
he might have been
doesn't
on the
have that
radio.
pull.
I think.
I don't know how he even fixes it. He doesn't have that build just get huge one day. And shoulders.
No, you
I
don't
feel
have to
like
get huge. You just got to put some kind of strength. Like you can't get knocked around like that. You know, it's just I don't know. It's not like you
Well,
have
they
to get huge.
they
You
talked
just
about
have
it.
to not go wakeboarding all summer. I don't know. You got to find a middle ground.
They talked about
Our
it a
water
couple of years
skiing.
ago that he was starting to play smarter and not putting himself in that position. And then his skill level is at such a play where he probably just does it automatically and he just gets pounded. You know, it's hard to change that up when that's your DNA.
Yeah,
you got away with it, and you got away with it so long.
I think I don't know with him. It sounds like I'm always just picking on him, but in the regular season, there's not necessarily guys going out there trying to hurt you. Towards the end of the season, playoffs and stuff, there's a guy on the other team that wants to go out and hit Jack Hughes. Guess what? He's getting hit. You know what I mean? Whatever move he's trying to put on, no matter how fast he is, whatever it is, he's gonna get hit, and it's gonna hurt a lot. You know, and that's what I was trying to say, PJ, too. It's you don't necessarily have to get huge, but you have to put on some kind of strength, muscle, some kind of protection. So when you are battling in the corner and getting pounded in front of the net or whatever, it doesn't hurt as much. That's just my opinion.
I said that shoulder is such a tough injury.
Oh, trust me. I know. It's never
easily. And I feel like every time he gets hit, it's coming right open again.
Yeah, without a doubt. And there's no easy way to rehab that without taking off a long time and trying to put on that kind of muscle is hard in those spots. But other than that, what other moves did the Devils make? What were you going to say, Coach?
Nothing. Just go on.
They re-signed Jake Allen. I know that was a good move. I think he's one of the better backup goalies in the NHL currently.
Is he the guy you're thinking of being 40 years old?
Maybe. How old is he?
No. He's 33 or something.
I know Brian Elliott was.
Can you just find a goalie that's 40, please?
Right? I told you, Jonathan Quick is 40.
Okay,
Jake Allen's 34. I looked it up. There's not many old.
That's absolutely who we were thinking of. We were totally thinking of Quickie.
No way.
Mike, are you and PJ getting out in the sun at all? What are you guys doing?
I don't. I'm either. I have two modes: burn or this. I don't tan. It doesn't happen. I'm Italian, and I didn't get that. It sucks. I don't know what happened here. I'm under the umbrella guy.
Northern Italians are more pale.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
All right, so nothing else to report about the Devils. We just wanted to pick on
They got like
Zachary for a
some
few
small
minutes.
signs. They got like Dadonov and Connor Brown, like some good depth.
Connor Brown was a good addition, actually. I will say that he's one of my favorite bottom six players in the league. That dude just bangs in the corners, and he's so good in the playoffs. Like he brings that edge to teams. Like he's not the most skilled player, and he definitely has his role, but he plays it very well.
Did they lose Palat?
Nope.
Not yet,
No.
but he's aging. I don't think they really lost a ton. They just really do it. They didn't like have any major.
They didn't do anything significant. But to that tune, the Columbus Blue Jackets another team didn't really do much, but I think they're going to be one to watch out for this season.
Yeah, what's his name turned into a stud? The defenseman there.
Zach Werenski. He's been a stud. He just last year
he really
insane.
came. He's been very. They talked about him on the NHL a lot for the last couple of years, but I mean, I think he came into the forefront a lot.
Yeah, he was.
This year.
Well, he was wild last year.
Yeah.
But like they didn't have Boone Jenner for a large part of last year. He's a big part of their defensive game. He wins a lot of faceoffs for that team. Monahan had an unbelievable year. Kent Johnson, I think he was out at the beginning of the season, and then he came back and he was great. Who?
Marchenko.
Yeah, Marchenko and Voronkov, the two Russians there. They were both. Dmitry Voronkov has to be one of my favorite players to watch. When he has a fuse that's like this long, and that fuse gets burnt like 9 games out of 10, and he just snaps. Like he'll put in two goals and get a game misconduct. It's great.
That was like Malkin. Remember Malkin back in the day? You could just piss him off. They were so easily.
Yeah. But they're Adam Fantilli too. He's a good player. They've developed their young talent. They've drafted well. And they
got that other guy to fight. They got the guy who's the fighter. We listened to one
Matthew Oliver. Olivier. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. Olivier.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah. He beats the wheels off people.
What a story that guy's got.
Yeah. But the only thing they're lacking is a goalie. Like Elvis Merzlikins. He's good when he's good, but we've said it several times.
What is
Consistency.
He, 42 years old?
No, he's younger.
See the one?
No, he's not.
I think I was thinking of Brian Elliott.
He's been out of the league for a while.
I know, but he's old.
Yeah, Merzlikins is such a head case. He's like such a hot
he
head.
is.
Watch him like
there was that. Like a few years ago, he like was demanding a trade and wouldn't play, and then like came in and played and was like giving up 6 goals a game. It's like, well, buddy, no one's gonna trade for you when you give up 6 goals a game. Like, pump the brakes, dude.
too.
Yeah. But they signed Coyle and Miles Wood as well. That those are really good, vets that buff up that bottom 6. They can play good defensive minutes. I think Columbus is going to be a team that takes a lot of people by surprise this year.
Yeah, they almost. I thought they were going to make it last year.
They almost did. Them, Ottawa, Montreal are all like in that group where they're all up and coming, pain in the ass to play, trying to take the next level.
Do you guys remember that series when Columbus beat Tampa 4-0 and it was Pierre-Luc Dubois and Josh Anderson on Columbus that just like ran over? That was one of my favorite playoff series of all time. That
was such a cool series because I remember Panarin was going to be a free agent and they kept him, and then they got Duchesne and they're like, we're just going to just try to push it. Yeah. That was a big inflection point for Tampa too. And then they ended up winning the back-to-back cups right after. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. But that was an awesome series. Yeah.
All right, before we wrap
the Islanders.
What'd you say? Oh, Islanders. Oh my gosh, forgot about the Islanders. What do we got with the Islanders? Other than
their number 1 pick.
What's
your prediction on the number 1 pick there, Mikey?
They had a great draft.
They got Tony DeAngelo. They're going to win the cup. I don't really know what to say about the Islanders. Honestly, they suck. Jonathan Duran, like, okay, he's a decent player. He can be good if you put him on a line with someone that can score. But like, what if you're looking at that roster? Like, what are you really concerned with if you're facing off against the Islanders?
You know what I love? It's like the Jets. Every year the fans get all excited. They sign Aaron Rodgers. Same thing with the Islanders. Oh, last year was they got Anthony Duclair. This guy's gonna do it. It's great.
They suck. Right. Yeah.
They're in this. I mean, they made some good future moves lately, and they got some good picks, and they updated their system. But their roster is such in where is it going? They have Sorokin signed long term, Barzell signed long term, so is Horvat. They still have a bunch of older guys like Cizikas and Pajot. Like they trade Dobson, who's a young, good defense. Like what are they doing?
Well, Dobson was that's all I heard for the last 2 years. How great Dobson was from my Islander fan friends. Oh, this guy's great. He's better. He's as good as Fox. Get out of here.
Imagine how good Matt Barzal would be if he played on like any other team.
He should be on Boston.
And if he actually just didn't skate
he should be on Boston. Like if he had, if he had been drafted by anybody but the Islanders, he would be phenomenal.
But he's another guy. He's another guy who was injury prone, Mike.
Yes,
he misses a lot of games.
Yeah,
because he doesn't manage the puck and he gets banged around. When you hold on to it so long, like Eddie said, somebody's going to get you.
Yeah.
You got to know when to give it up, give and go. I try to tell kids that all the time. Do the give and go. Why are you taking that unnecessary hit? And then he just holds on. It might not happen for 3 games, but you're going to get the wrong guy.
Yep.
Yeah, all it takes is once.
Yep, the odds are against you when you have the puck on your stick that long.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I think we can all agree that the Islanders aren't going to be a threat to the Rangers anytime soon, or in general, I guess. All right, it's been a solid 2 hours. I think we spoke. About every team pretty much, or at least touched on. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the season to start. I guess we still got another month and a half, 2 months until hockey comes back. But yeah, we'll do our best to bring some more content, some fresh new ideas to you guys for the rest of the summer. Like I said before, Rob Shrimp hopefully will be with us next week. If not, we'll schedule him for some time this summer to catch up with him. We still got to do our leadership group episode where we predict the Rangers leadership or what we think the Rangers leadership group should be. And we'll go from there. I mean, just stay tuned on all of our socials. Keep an eye out for any announcements, special guests, recurring guests, other summer guests, other fresh content. Keep an eye out. And good episode, boys. No coaches commercial. We'll run it before we go out for the outro. We got to give Bella.
Yep.
We got to give Bella their due as well. Shout out to all of our sponsors, all of our fans in the chat. As always, you guys are great. You stuck with us for 2 hours. That's unbelievable.
Hirsch wanted a special shout out, little Ed. He needs attention.
Hirsch?
Yeah.
I mean,
he loves
some of your comments we can't put up on screen, but they're fantastic. I did see your comment before that little Ed's got an away game. I'm in Hanover, Maryland currently right now, dealing with some clients down in Maryland, Annapolis Junction area, I guess you can call it. Away game for little Ed. It's going to be a lot more of those in the coming years, I think. So
I just popped into the YouTube, and the first comment I see is "drunk dial Sweeney."
Yeah, that one I saw before. But
I should have put that button up on my bad.
Hirsch, you always get a shout out, buddy. That was you. You're always great in the chat. All you guys are great. Good stuff, guys. Let's go Rangers. I got to go eat some dinner. Love you guys. Mikey 150. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Everyone go follow Mikey 150 on Twitter at Rangers.
Oh, I haven't been on Twitter in so long.
Yeah, well, you take a summer off.
I'll get
It's
back
okay.
on.
We'll be
I didn't
back.
even get a follow yet from Mikey. I feel ashamed.
We'll be back on for the season. And as always, Mikey will be back for his weekly fantasy updates, keeping you guys abreast with the hottest guys around the league, picking up for fantasy, trading, all that good stuff. And I'm sure
Phrasing, Eddie. Phrasing.
What'd you say?
Phrasing. We're not into the hottest guys around the league here, buddy.
Different podcast.
That's Rangers Net After Dark edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right. That means I'm getting tired. I'm running out of steam as host. But yeah, Mikey will be back as always. And I'm sure he and Mrs. 150 will be kicking our ass in the fantasy league this year again.
I'm getting
And,
in this.
Yeah, PJ will be in this year, so we'll see. All right, good stuff, guys. If you want to add
All right,
anything
boys.
else other than that, I'm shot. Love you guys.
Love
right.
you guys.
Love you
Have a
guys.
good night.
Let's see the
Yeah,
commercials.
take it easy, boys.
Let's go.
Hey everybody, Coach Ed here. I'm over here in the shop at Bella Italia, Marble Granite and Quartz, picking up my order for a nice little bathroom I'm doing. I've been a contractor almost as long as I'm a hockey coach. So listen to me when I tell you, when you want the quality work and craftsmanship, I'm going to see the boys over at Bella. They serve all 5 boroughs, Westchester, Long Island, all the way out to Montauk. Whether you're a Ranger fan, Islander fan, Devils fan, they're going to take care of you no matter what. Make sure you give them a call, 516-561-1018. Let's go Rangers.
All right, boys, bring it in.